That's what made me cringe, is the fact that that exact same thing they're guilty of, and they are so intent on being so judgmental and so hateful to those people, and it draws them away from Christ. I was like, well, what if I just didn't claim Christianity, but I believe in Jesus, and I believe in God, and I want that. I love Jesus. I don't want to be put in that people group. But it really did take me, even though that's what I said to that man, to realize it's not about what everyone else is doing, even Christians around you. It is about your relationship with the creator of the universe. Whenever you rely on Christians to make a good example of you and you don't want to be ashamed, it's not about that. Look deeper into it. You need to be concerned more with your relationship with God than you are everyone else's relationship with God and why that looks retarded. Because people mess up. That's just it. The biggest thing I want to really get across is trying to train. How many of you seen what's that movie? Leonardo DiCaprio. It's really trippy, weird. It's like dreams. Inception. I literally forgot the name of that movie. Thank you. You know how it's like subconscious thought? Okay, not that movie in that way of subconscious, but I want you, in a way, to train your subconscious. And this essay that I'm about to read off is from a non-Christian, which I think makes it better simply because he arrived at this conclusion without any guidance from, he did have guidance from God, but he's not a Christian. This can be something that can, he didn't have faith in God. But this is about your brain and you, the way that you view things and the way that you see things needs to be different than, for example, the world, basically the fundamental part of every person is the universe revolves around who? Me. I am the single most important person on earth. Whenever you go to the grocery store, there's a long line. What do you think? It's annoying. It's irritating. Whenever someone cuts you off, why on earth would you do that? And I get angry. I'm like, and you should be angry in a way. Like, yeah. But I want you to consider, maybe you aren't the most important person in the world. Maybe all of this, like we've talked about today, isn't that important at all. Maybe your life, when you were born and when you die, if you focus too hard on yourself, maybe your life won't mean anything. If everything that you do and everything that you want to do and everything that you try to do and so hard, your goals and your aims and everything is focused and put on yourself, what will that leave your legacy? What will that leave the kingdom of God? What will God be able to say to you whenever you finally make it up there about you? And that's what the essay I'm about to read. I'm going to read it like only 2 paragraphs from it, but it's a good essay. I recommend you all go home and read it. Let's see. It's in notes, and I've never used notes before, but hey, cool. I didn't know iPhones had that. Okay. Because here's something else that's true. In the day-to-day trenches of adult life, there is actually no such thing as atheism. There is no such thing as not worshiping. Everybody worships. The only choice we get is what to worship. And an outstanding reason for choosing some sort of God or spiritual type thing to worship, be it Jesus Christ or Allah or Yahweh or the Wiccan Mother of Goodness or the Four Noble Truths or some infrangible set of ethical principles, is that pretty much anything else you worship will eat you alive. If you worship money and things as if they were you, to have a real meaning in life, then you will never have enough. Never feel you have enough. It's the truth. Worship your own body in the beauty and sexual allure, and you will always feel ugly. And when time and age start showing, you will die a million deaths before they finally plant you. On one level, we all know this stuff already. It's been confided in myths, proverbs, cliches, epigrams, and parables. The skeleton of every great story. The trick is keeping the truth up front in daily consciousness. Worship power you will feel weak and afraid, and you will need ever more power over others to keep the fear at bay. Worship your intellect being seen as smart, you will end up feeling stupid, a fraud, always being on the verge of being found out, and so on. Look, the insidious thing about these forms of worship is not only that they're evil or sinful, it is that they are unconscious, that they are the default settings. They're the kind of worship you just gradually slip into, day after day, getting more and more selective about what you see and how to measure value without ever being fully aware that that's what you're doing. And the world will not discourage you from operating on your default settings, because the world of men and money and power hums along quite nicely to the feel of fear and contempt and frustration, and craving and worship of the self. Our own present culture has harnessed these forces in ways that have yielded us. I can't keep going. My bad. I'm out of time pretty much. Anyway, the point of that is, you often will get into the hum and the rhythm of life, and you will not think about things that you say and do in a Christian way. You will get irritated, you will get annoyed. That is human nature. But what you can control is whenever you see a car swerve in front of you, think about the fact that they may actually need to be somewhere that's more important than you. Not probable most of the time, but it is possible. And you can control how you treat and react to that. That in itself is a more valuable lesson to learn than many of the things you'll ever hear. I don't have that figured out. I'm not the best Christian in the world. Trust me, I know this about myself. So I'm not telling you that I have this figured out. I am telling you, however, to not have this figured out is going to make you miserable. You're always going to be focused on yourself or whatever. And to conclude this, life has one certain ending other than the rapture, and that is what? Death. You're going to die. And you don't have to be afraid of it. It's just part of life. And you see it every day. It's part of it. However, you should be afraid of something about death. You can either choose to live your life in a loving, caring way, pouring into the relationships that you have with people and God, and die a happy person, knowing that you gave everything you had to Christ. But then there's also the option the world says. And what is that? Would you rather die amassed on the treasures you have built up for yourself, and the fancy car, and the nice house, and the beautiful trophy wife, whatever, and yeah, you did it. Congrats. Not a single person cares. And you have no legacy built up. And that's great that you have $10 billion in the bank. God doesn't care. He doesn't. And all of that is for nothing. And when you take the last breath you will take on this earth, and you leave here and go to whatever home that you're going to, what will you have to say about yourself in the afterlife, and what will other people have to say about you? Will it be that you were that guy who went out and did it all, did the American dream, like I just said, bought the nice house, had the nice stuff? Or will it be that you were that humble, polite man who could always be approached, always shared a little bit of light into that person's day, and loved and cared about what you had to say? Or will you be that guy? Many people will glamorize that, but as for me, I'm going to try. And I have always tried, and then I fail, I know. But